Hello everybody, my name is Christian Aldo and welcome to the Plastic General. In today's episode, I've been personally invited as a correspondent for the Plastic General to ride along with Japanese paratroopers as they attempt to take back some American bases that are well situated for bombing activity in the Philippines. But I'm only going to be going strictly as an observer. I won't be doing any fighting whatsoever. What's this? Oh, this is a Type 99 Japanese machine gun. Cool. Hold on. What? No, sir. I'm not supposed to be fighting. I'm strictly an observer. Oh, I think they mean business. I gotta go. See you in the battlefield. Fire!
米国の流体、東亜の腐敗、まさにこの一戦にある。一応国民が一体を挙げて国に報い、国に準ずるの時は今であります。発行を入れとに、公務のもとに、この民主法の大政府にある限り、といえども、何ら恐るるに足らないのであります。総理は常に。
Wow, looks like that Japanese admiral means business. But before we get started on that, this episode is brought to you by 3D Printer Chick. Now, 3D Printer Chick specializes in 3D printed World War II tanks and vehicles. Now, take a look at this Soviet Su-100. Look at the fantastic detail. And that is in 1/32 scale. And you can find her work on eBay, and she has hundreds of different vehicles and tanks to choose from. And it's a beautiful vehicle. It's the Soviet Su-100 by 3D Printer Chick. Look what she did. 3D Printer Chick for the Plastic General. Look at that. Custom made for me, and they can be custom made for you. And this episode is also sponsored by Rick's World of Toys, specialist in conversions of Britain's Detail, AIRFIX, and Matchbox. And look at this amazing British SAS long-range attack group, customized and made by Rick at Rick's World of Toys on Facebook. Check him out. You'll love it. Okay, so let's get into this. The first set we're going to look at is a release by Mars. It's a 1/32 scale set of Japanese paratroopers in 8 poses, and here they are. The first 2 figures. It's a kneeling, sharpshooting, a Nambu Type 94 Japanese pistol, and the second one is it's a Taisho Year 11 6.5 millimeter submachine gun or light machine gun. And he's also kneeling sharpshooting. Very useful. Really cool figures. Notice the uniforms, they matched mine, didn't they? Poses 3, 4, and 5. The first figure is standing sharpshooting an Arisaka Japanese rifle. The second figure is firing one of my favorite Japanese weapons. It's the Type 100 submachine gun, and he's firing that from waist. And the third figure is charging with an Arisaka rifle with a bayonet. Banzai! 3 very useful poses. I love them a lot. They're well sculpted. They're a lot of fun. And you know, I gotta credit Mars for doing something exotic and interesting. The problem is with the subject of the Japanese is that it's always the same old thing all the time. And you know, I love that they did Japanese paratroopers. I always wanted them, and here they are. And for poses 6, 7, and 8. Now, these figures are special. What these are the Japanese commandos. Now, they were sent down in a slightly different attachment. They came by barge ship, and they landed on little landing crafts. That's why they're not exactly dressed like paratroopers. They're kind of like semi-wearing their gear. Like this one figure is firing a knee mortar, a small mortar. It's very portable for one person. And this guy here, he seems to be stuffing a grenade into an object, because that's what they did when the commandos came down. They were stuffing grenades inside of airplanes that were parked on the landing strip. And this figure is also using a flamethrower. So they're going to be flaming up all of the aircraft and everything at the base. They're complete saboteurs. And you know, they were on a suicide mission, and they were not there to come back. They were there to destroy. It's hot here in the Pacific. Whew! Anyway, the Plastic General never stops at 8 poses, especially when it comes to Mars. I always want more. So I made a few conversions of my own. So this figure is leaning back, and he's throwing his grenade with his left hand. And this figure here is firing that Taisho submachine gun. Or no, the Taisho light machine gun. But he's standing sharpshooting, which is another very useful way of utilizing that figure. Easy to do, boys. And for my last 2 conversions, you have a commander firing a Nambu pistol, and then you have kneeling sharpshooting Arisaka rifle. Now, neat little thing here. It seems to me that the Japanese paratroopers, in their jumping smocks, they either had them in khaki green or in this sort of like bluish gray. This is obviously, by a trained eye would know that this is a real Japanese jumpsuit. I have one of the few existing jumpsuits left on the planet. Don't ask me how I acquired it, but I have my connections. They came in, seems to me they come in 2 different colors. And the reason for this color was some missions took place at night. And so it would just give them better camouflage when they attacked at night. And during the day, they would wear the other one. So there you go. So here they are in all their glory, all 8 poses by Mars 132 Japanese paratroopers, plus my 4 conversions that you can do for yourself at home. And highly recommended. They're 132 scale, and they were so needed. On to the next product. Are you ready? Enter the Japanese Mitsubishi G4M, better known by the American code people or anyone watching the skies for Japanese bombers or aircraft. This was known as the Betty, and this is like it's like the Type 2 or the Type 3. The earlier Bettys, they all had these sort of like blister windows on the side, and they might even have had guns on the side, but maybe they're just observation windows. And I'm going to give you a little tour around this. Well, first of all, go back. First of all, I want to say this is a 132 scale Betty bomber, and it was made by Combat Models out of the United States. And I think John was the guy's name, who's the creator of this. So for anybody out there that wants to build vacuum form, I mean, you better be good, because vacuum form is very, very tough to build. All you get are, freeze, when you're building vacuum form, all you get are basic parts like this, just raw parts. So it's your job to detail them and figure out how to put them together. You have to do your research if you want to do it. and you gotta be good. You have to at least be as good as the Plastic General, because I'm a hack. I'm not trying to be perfect on any level, but I sure the hell made this into a toy, and I'm gonna give you my little tour around the toy. So get in on this. So at the front here, I made these propellers too. At the front is where the bombardier sits. And so I had to Dremel all the little holes in the windows there. And here, if you look in the back, there he is. The bombardier is happily sitting in the front, looking into the bomb site. And I designed it. Look how I designed it. So it fits in there nicely. Like, whoop. Then, I can't stop there because this is too much fun. I drilled away all of the windows in the top because that's how it looked. And then in the cockpit, you have the pilot and you have the co-pilot, and then here you have the navigator. I even made a little navigator map. Now the real one, it went back much further and it went much deeper. But guys, I'm only a hack. But I just do what I can handle because it's difficult. It's really tricky, but not too tricky. And then here is with the gunner. He's got the ball mount on the top, and it opens up, and the little guy can sit in there. And and this over here, you see the Japanese rising sun. This is a door. This actually opens up, and that's where, if you get shot down, that's where you can bail out. And at the back, I didn't open up and do this one. I should have maybe, but this was also, there was a tail gunner back here, so I should probably drill a hole in there and have the machine gun sticking out. But I don't want to. And this is the second version. Like it has the flat windows. There are no real full Bettys left in the world. I think the Americans have the front half of one in a museum that's not even on display because they're still trying to put it together or whatever. There's a burnt out one still sitting in a jungle where General Yamamoto, I think it was. He was flying, and the Americans intercepted they broke the code, and they sent some planes to shoot him down. And one of the bad things about the Betty was all the fuel was stored in the wings, and if you hit the wings well enough, the airplane would catch on fire. It was not. It was good for the first half of the war, but let's face it, for the second half of the war, you don't want to be caught in this thing. But there you go, man. This is the combat models, vacuum form, 132 scale, Mitsubishi Betty. The reason for this whole mission is that the Americans keep capturing Japanese air bases and using them for their own bombers to actually bomb the hell out of Japan. And the closer they get to Japan, the more they're bombing it. So they've come to the conclusion that they have to send these suicide paratroopers to destroy the air base at all costs. I guess there'll be no coming home this Christmas for these guys. I think I'm going to be sick. Wait a second. I do not have any experience in jumping. Okay. Japanese paratroopers are descending upon American air bases, and they're unsuspecting. They're having fun. They're smoking cigarettes, and they're talking about their favorite pinup gal. And so, to defend the base, we're going to cover this classic set. 132 scale U.S. Marines made by AIRFIX. And this is a classic set of 7 poses, and we all know them and probably all own them. The first figure is a commander waving, firing his, what damn gun would that be?
Is it a Colt?
Colt! He's firing his Colt! And this figure is kneeling, firing a U.S. bazooka. An anti-tank weapon. And it's useful for taking in other things too. Poses 3, 4, and 5. We have a soldier running with a Garand. And then the middle soldier is firing a grease gun, submachine gun, from waist. It's a really well sculpted figure. And this figure is firing more of a paratrooper rifle. It's called the M1. And he's standing sharpshooting that. 3 more. Very useful, very straightforward poses. I've always been a great... I love it when figures are serving a single purpose. You get those first poses out of the way first, then you start going into secondary stuff, like people doing this or pointing and all this other weird stuff. That other stuff is great, but cover the basics first. But since it's an American set, I mean, everything's been done. The last 2 figures, this guy's prone, probably assisting this figure in a lying down position, firing a .30 caliber Browning machine gun. By the way, I have a real one that you're going to see featured in this episode later. So here they are, all 7 poses of the AIRFIX Marines in 1/32 scale. The few, the proud, the Marines. And the final offering is a 1/32 scale M2A1 US Howitzer. It's a 1.5 inch Howitzer by DINKY. This came out in the 70s. What a fantastic artillery piece. It's really heavy. It's got these really great wheels. It's strong. I like this one even better than the Forces of Valor. Even though the Forces of Valor M2A1 is more technically accurate and detailed than this one, I just love the strength and the beefiness of it. It's heavy, and it just feels, listen to it. It just feels like a great heavy. This is awesome, man. Now, when you get it, you've got to get it complete with the 3 crew figures. And they come painted, but I repainted them because I'm not crazy about how they painted them. So anyways, you have the first figure. He's kind of like the loader, and he's loading and operating. And then you have the commander, and he's pointing with that powerful finger that points and destroys. Whatever he points at, he destroys. And then finally, there's the figure with the artillery piece, the 150 millimeter or 1.5 centimeter shell, and they shoot anything they want to shoot. And there it is. And it's beautiful glory. 1/32 scale M1A1, right? M1A1, 1.5 150 millimeter artillery piece by DINKY. And it's vintage, but there's still tons of them out there. You know where to find them. But you got to remember, they come with 3 crew. So, there you go. Oh yeah, we flew right over there. Those Japanese bombers, sound the alarm! it was too crazy to be a success. There was no way they were gonna pull that off. Man, you crazy? Anyways, looks like that's it for today's episode. But before we go, I would love to thank 3D Printer Chick for amazing 3D printed tanks, which we are going to feature them every week, and we're going to be featuring them in action, an episode coming up in the future. And of course, Rick's World of Toys on Facebook. For those custom Britain's detail, he can do it. He's got them all. He's got everything. Rick's World of Toys. And, oh yeah, so if you like the episode and you like what we do, please hit the subscribe button. Hey, you, hit that goddamn subscribe button. And then hit the little bell so you can always be notified when I come up with a new episode. And if you have any criticisms of the show, or you spot any inaccuracies, which you'll never spot because everything is accurate in this show. So guys, if you love the show and you want us to keep doing our thing, please feel free to donate to the Plaza General. We want to keep it going on PayPal. And I guess I'll be going back to where I came from. Oh look, it's the U.S. Military Police. Hey guys, what? No, I didn't do anything. I wasn't fighting. I didn't even have a weapon on me. I'm Canadian. I'm not Japanese. I'm not Japanese.